Let's take a look at Grendel here. He is now available for us to play in the new update of Wayfinder Echoes. You see he's a pretty tall guy here with his signature axe in the back. Be quiet, Omen. If we go over here to his characters, you can see the axe is called the Draken Maw. It has a serious focus on like break power, physical defense, magic defense. As he is a War Master character, he's going to focus a lot more on break power and like weapon power and momentum and stuff like that. The Draken Maw has the weapon ability, which executes a sequence of 3 sweeping attacks. Each activation consumes 1 momentum level. The initial activation deals damage and pulls enemies in. The second activation is a follow-up attack that deals increased damage, and the final activation unleashes a devastating double swing. Now this is going to be with each load of your momentum bar when you use it. Looking at his affinity, he's going to have some perks here for those. For each of the affinities. On Instinct, he has Anger Surge. While in Blood Rage, you deal 10% increased Berserk break damage. While in Anger's Bounty, if you break an enemy while in Blood Rage, you gain 1 stack of Anger. And what Anger does is increase your outgoing damage by 3% and decreasing incoming damage by 3%. Anger stacks are dropped when Grendel exits Blood Rage. So you can see that Grendel really is about that break power. A lot of his abilities are going to center around breaking enemy shields. So it's something you do want to focus on, is the break power. Anger's Boon, guard breaking enemies generates more ultimate charge. Under the Discipline perks, Battleborn Fury increases weapon damage by an additional 5% while in Blood Rage. Melee finishers and Eagle Eye generate Whirlwind resources for Battleborn Infusion, and for Battleborn Dominance, you gain an extra 2% damage for each Heat of Battle combo hit up to 20%. Now the Heat of Battle is when you're breaking up combos and it's showing that little how many hits you got. It's like 200%, 250%, like that. That's what the Heat of Battle is down at the bottom. Now for Focus perks, you increase ability power by an additional 5% during Blood Rage. Grendel regenerates 1% health while guard broken. And guard breaking an enemy causes an AoE explosion that applies break to nearby enemies' ability power base. Now, I personally feel like Instinct and Focus are going to be some of your main ones if you're going to look at which ones you want to go to. I don't know if they updated it enough for us to have 3 perks or all the perks. Let's go over to his abilities. He has, they all have 4 abilities and their ultimate, their weapon ability. So Whirlwind, rapidly spin and strike all enemies around while moving for a short time. And this actually has charges to it. If you look here on the menu, you can see on the bottom right. Oh, they're gone. There they are. You see it says LB, and then it has those 2 little things there. So if I swing, you can see it's actually going down. You can actually stop it whenever you want to by doing another attack. Now, level 1, this increases regeneration. Level 2 does damage dealt by 10%. Level 3 heals 2% of max HP when you hit a broken target. For Tremor, his other ability, level 1 is going to hit an enemy with Tremor, restores a small amount of whirlwind resources. This is Stomp the Floor, sending out a shockwave in a line, dealing high break damage. Right now, I've seen the animation kind of be broken a little bit where it's actually in the air instead of on the ground. Level 2 will increase Tremor damage and break by 7%, and level 3 briefly increases damage against targets that are hit by Tremor. For Mighty Leap, you get leap forward a short distance, damaging enemies around the landing point, increase movement speed by 20% for 10 seconds after leaping, increase break damage by 15%, and gain a second charge of leap. And then his Berserker Frenzy character ultimate ability, he explodes with rage, dealing heavy break damage to enemies in a large area, and causing Grendel to enter a Berserker Frenzy for 15 seconds, while Frenzy Grendel gains increased weapon power, ability power, break power, movement speed, and immunity to break damage. When this state ends, Grendel explodes, dealing damage to enemies in a large area. It's really strong, especially when compared with his weapon ability and using those momentum swings. You can do a lot of damage hitting that Berserk Frenzy with those 2 activated. His level 1 increases weapon damage while Berserk Frenzy is active. Level 2, melee finishers Eagle Eye generate more ultimate charge, and level 3, Berserk Frenzy Roar deals increased damage and pulls enemies in. For his passives, he has the archetype of War Master, so he's going to have those War Master passives. You get additional 20 stamina and restore some resilience when you roll. and your weapon abilities charge faster when using a weapon ability. Inspire the War Master and nearby allies for a short time, which is going to increase your weapon power by 10% per ability level and stacks up to 30%. For his character passive, he has something called Blood Rage. Now, when he goes into a Blood Rage, when an enemy's guard is broken, his gets increased damage and movement speed, and he takes less break damage from incoming attacks. So bringing a character that breaks the enemy's guard is really important for Grendel. If you really want to do maximum damage and get the most out of its attacks and staying alive, alongside using potions and stuff. For his affinities, those talents, we'll have a little unlocked talent trees. Your Wayfinder rank, as you get experience, Wayfinder rank goes up. His particular talent tree, he has Heroism, Vengeance, and Resolve. A couple of abilities here he has Grim Devotion, which weapon power will equal 20% of your max health. Unstoppable, using a weapon ability increases your maximum heat of battle multiplier by 10% per ability level. Hard Target, you can now cause small amounts of damage to any enemy that hits you with a melee attack. Damage scales of physical defense. You lose 20% less stamina when blocking attacks. Parry attacks now deal twice as much damage. Immovable, you can no longer be interrupted by an enemy attack in combat. Fortifying Aura, after using your ultimate, you and all nearby allies gain a temporary bonus to all stats equal to 5% of your ability power. Rallying Cry, each time you use the Wayfinder ability, you heal all allies around you for a small amount. Consecutive heals will have an increased effect. Presence of Mind, every time you hit an enemy with a weapon attack, gain a stack of Mindful, stacking up to 10 times. Using a Wayfinder ability causes all stacks to be consumed, granting you 3% ability power per stack. And Ways of War, weapon abilities charge an additional 15% faster. This is all from Grendel's. As you branch out, you can see there's a whole bunch of points you get for branching out here. 72 ability power, 3% ultimate generation multiplier. Add the balance type echo slot to your character. So this is all here in this. I'm not sure what the times 2 section does. I'm guessing it does 72 ability power times 2, but I'm really unsure with that because I haven't gotten over there yet. You can see all of the style characters here. These are all the heads that you get. This last one is one I found in the chest, but these are all the different head types that you get once you unlock Grendel. You see, I think this one and the last one I got in the chest are probably the best out of them. And then of course you can find shoulders and stuff from that nature. When you go and do his discoveries and discover his memories, going down to Grendel, his reward are some Night War shoulders, which is going to have plus 4.67% weapon power and plus 9.33% crit power. And then he gets the main spray that you can use in the tagged environments. You find Grendel's by defeating Bloodspawn. You can get Grendel early on by going to the deep, and you do the this expedition right here, the Bloodspawn expedition. That's where Grendel drops at. So if you're wondering how you can get Grendel, you're gonna have to go through the main story and just do the main story quest, and eventually you'll get him, because as soon as you defeat the Bloodspawn, it drops. If it doesn't drop, it dropped the first time for me, but if it doesn't drop the first time for you, just keep fighting the Bloodspawn and they'll drop that way. You can also get Sinja. While I'm here, I'll just mention Sinja from defeating a Deceiver chest if you find out in the world. So that's where Sinja comes from. So here is this ability here. You see, here's a leap. And unfortunately, I'm not charged up enough to show you the other things. But I think I have a video footage which I'll pop in here so you guys can see that. That is all of the information so far I can give you for Grendel. Fairly new character coming out. One that everybody's been waiting for. He looks pretty cool. He works pretty cool. So it's a really good character. It's good that everybody's going to get a chance to play as him. And I recommend that you do so, because he is pretty good. All right. Until the next video, this is Grendel. Thanks for watching. Peace.